I wake up every day is a daydream. Everything in my life ain't what it seems. I wake up just to go back to sleep. I act real shallow but I'm in too deep. And all I care about is sex and violence. A heavy baseline is my kind of silence. Everybody says that I gotta get a grip, but I let sanity give me the slip. Some people think I'm bonkers, but I just think I'm free. Man, I'm just living my life, there's nothing crazy about me. Some people pay for thrills, but I get mine for free. Man, I'm just living my life, there's nothing crazy about me.
Bonkers.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to 90 Minutes to Glory here on the Betting News Network, powered by our lovely sponsors at Bet Online. I'll be honest, I don't know where that QR code is, but you guys know the drill. Go to betonline.ag and get yourself a 55% deposit bonus using promo code BNBOL55. We got a new background here, no QR code on it. That's A-okay. We're rolling with the punches here on the BNN. Appreciate you guys all being here, starting your Saturday off with me. We're going to talk some soccer. We're going to talk some EPL. We'll get into some MLS as well, as we've got both conference finals today. We're also getting to tomorrow's EPL. You can see that marquee game, Chelsea and Arsenal. We'll be chit-chatting about that as well. And then in about an hour, the boys are going to be joining me, Danny Burke and Daniel Collins, SPJ. They're going to be joining me to talk all things, all Saturday sports, some college football, some college basketball, some NBA from those lads as well. We got it all here on the Betting News Network. Once again, appreciate y'all being here. Thanks for starting your Saturday with me. Now, we're not going to get into college football on this hour of the show. This is not a special edition Shaggy Circle. This is 90 Minutes to Glory. We're going to keep it soccer here for the most part, since I am going to be going with the boys on Betspresso here in an hour. So plenty of time to rock and roll. Everybody take a big old deep breath. I got the doggos behind me per usual. They were not willing to get out of bed, but I made them, and here they are. Big old sip of coffee in the AM. Let's get right to it. I hope you all had a great holiday with your family, and the weekend is here. It's Saturday. It's kind of been the weekend since Wednesday, but that's A-okay. Let's get into it. Let me get this situated, because we're going to be sweating some soccer bets here in about 27 minutes, things getting started. Now, just 5 matches on the EPL slate for today. Tomorrow, we've got 5 as well, along with that marquee match, Chelsea and Arsenal. So we'll get into Sunday's picks here in a bit, but let's start with Saturday. Now, we didn't have a early game to get us going. Nothing already going off, nothing already settled so far across in the EPL. But we got several games, 3 of them, I believe, 3 games going off at 9 o'clock. I only have picks in one of them, actually, now that I look at the schedule, look at my board, but we'll talk about all 3 of them. Let's begin with we'll start with the game I actually got picks in. Let's start there. Manchester City and Leeds United. We're not going to overthink this one. We are going to back the better team at home to get the job done in shutout fashion. Manchester City to 0 at plus 115, hosting Leeds United today. Now, you can take Manchester City money line and both teams to score. No, it's the exact same bet. However, you get the most bang for your buck at your book. Now, Manchester City, I think they win this game to 0. Obviously, I cannot think of a reason why they don't win this game. They're at home. They're at the Etihad, facing one of the worst offenses in the league. There's no reason they shouldn't win this game, let alone win it in shutout fashion. Now, Manchester City currently sits 7 points behind Arsenal and just 1 point behind Chelsea. They're in third in the EPL. But they are tied for first in terms of goals scored and third in goals allowed. So far through 12 matches, Manchester City is netting 24 goals. That's 2 goals per match while allowing less than 1 on the defensive end. But they are at a point where they can't let any more points slip away from them. Arsenal has a pretty substantial lead for just 12 matches into the season. We're 12 matches into the season. They've got a 7-point lead over, I guess, a 6-point lead over Chelsea over second place, but a 7-point lead over Manchester City. City can't let any more points slip away. At home, you need 3 here. You need this win. You can't afford a draw. That just lets Arsenal propel themselves even further up the table. You need 3 points. You need this win. I think they come very, very focused. They're coming off a UEFA Champions League loss. So perfect bounce back spot for City at home. City did blank Liverpool in their last match at home. So they've had success. Yes, this is the blue team. This is the blue team, the blue Manchester. Oh yeah, you're a United guy. I remember that, Owen. Yes, City, they blanked Liverpool in their last home match, so have had plenty of success at home. They have 3 other home shutouts this year as well. Leeds, they're at the bottom of the EPL for a reason. Their defense isn't great. Their offense is abysmal. It's horrendous. Leeds are second worst in goals scored this season in the EPL. They're netting just 11 in 12 matches. That's less than 1 per match. I think City can win this in shutout fashion with their JV squad, to be quite honest with you. And that's maybe what we're going to get today. Let's actually look at the lineups. I say that like I don't know who's playing, but Erling Haaland up top. They got Jeremy Doku and Phil Foden on the wings. Silva's in there. Yeah, they're going to be fine. They're playing the top dogs. They're going to come to play. Give me Man City to win to 0. Well, shutout fashion at plus 115. Plus money. Gotta love it. Get our Saturday started with a plus money winner. And that one going off here in about 23 minutes at 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. Kickoff for Manchester City and Leeds United. Yeah, City played the JV last week in the UCL, and it bit them in the butt. Now they're going to bring the hammer down on Leeds at home. Give me City to 0 at plus 115. Owen, so this is maybe one you might have to like build as a same game parlay. And so as a same game parlay, what it would look like is, let me type it out so I just have a visual. Oh, not 115, not 155, 115. This is what it would look like if you have to build it as a same game parlay on your book. You just take Manchester City money line, and then in game props, it should be in game props, you can find both teams to score yes or no. You just take no, pair that with Manchester City money line, and you've got Manchester City to win to 0, or in shutout fashion. Different books word this differently. It's all the same bet. We need Man City to win, and we need them to win in shutout fashion. So yeah, Man City to 0, Man City money line, both teams to score no. I got it at plus 115. You might be able to find some better juice out there for you, but anything for plus money is a go for this bet. So Man City, get the job done early. I'll be watching. I'll be sweating. I hope Leeds doesn't score in the first half, and then we'll just have to turn it off and finish the show all set. That's okay. We'll get through it. Yes, Owen. Thank you for bringing that up because I almost skipped past it. I like Man City to win 3-0 at plus 675 is what I snagged for the correct score. Man City 3-0 plus 675. Great minds think alike, and that's awesome. Plus 160 on the wow. No way. I'm gonna have to double down if that's really minus plus 160. Oh man, yeah. I might just have to sprinkle that. Man City same game parlay. Man City and Leeds total goals under. That works too. Oh, you're not gonna let me do that. Both teams score now. Oh. I didn't click that button. I'm seeing plus 108 on the green book. Peach got the juice. So I hope I hope you're looking at the right bet. We'll see though. What's up, Jamie Easy? How we doing, sir? How we doing? Man City to 0, getting us right here in 20 minutes. 20 minutes, Man City 2-0. All right, let's talk about those other two 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock Eastern games. Brentford and Burnley. God, Brentford's a big favorite. Wow. I want no part of this game. This is just gross. But my lean would definitely be with Burnley on the double chance. I'm really not sold on Brentford, despite them having some good wins, having some very good wins at home, 2 straight at home against Newcastle and Liverpool, and Manchester United in that mix as well. They drew with Chelsea, only lost to Man City at home. Yeah, no, nothing from me. Nothing from me. The Bees can go on and win, and I'll just watch from afar. Brentford, Burnley, nothing, no plays. Don't win anyone. Hey, no worries, Peach. No worries. We're here to learn, to help each other out. I was just confused, to be quite honest with you. I was gonna be astounded if we got plus 160 for that bet, but all good, no worries. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you interacting, chit chatting, getting involved. Can't thank you guys enough for that. All right, moving on. Sunderland and AFC Bournemouth going head to head here in 19 minutes as well. Bournemouth favored on the road. Is Semenyo going to be back? Yeah, he's back. Yep, he is there in the lineup. Semenyo in the lineup. Tyler Adams back in the lineup as well. Let me take a peek at this. Sunderland, Bournemouth. Ugh, I mean, I really want to back Sunderland again. I don't think I can. I think I just have to hold off. But I really do like Sunderland catching a quarter of a goal, catching a half a goal, whatever you want to play. I think Sunderland gets the job done. Yeah. Lean with Sunderland. I'm gonna hold off. I got enough bets out today. Lean with Sunderland. Lean with Sunderland at home to at least earn a point. You can get that plus a half for minus 116. I mean, you're getting the draw no bet and the double chance both at minus 116. I think that's probably the right side there. Sunderland, lean with the quarter. But we're just going to go with Man City. We'll just stick with Man City to nil. This is the only bet on the 9 o'clock slate. Game's getting started here in about 18 minutes. This is all I've got on the docket, starting us off bright and early. But I do have 2 more EPL plays in the 2 later games. So let's move on to those 2. Everton and Newcastle going head-to-head at Hill Dickinson Stadium. It's not Goodison Park anymore. It does not have the same roll off the tongue, to be quite honest with you. But nevertheless, Everton and Newcastle going head-to-head. We've had 3 straight matches stay under 2.5 goals. And guess what? That's what we're going to take. Under 2.5, minus 111. For Everton and Newcastle. I'm willing to back both defenses and fade both offenses. That's more or less what's happening in this spot right here. Through 12 matches, both of these teams, they've netted 13 goals. Barely 1 per match. Defensively, Everton's allowed 13, Newcastle's allowed 15. Pretty solid numbers on the defensive side of things, especially when you look at where they are on the table. Based on those defensive numbers, you would think they would be higher up on the table, but they're not, because the problem with both of these squads is their attack. Now, Newcastle is a team that does struggle to produce goals, especially on the road. They were shut out in their first 3 road matches of the season in the EPL. Since then, they've netted just 3 goals in 6 total games away from home. The only game where they scored more than once on the road at all this year was a cupcake win on the road in the UEFA Champions League. They took on Union St. Galosi and scored, I believe, 4. They won a 4-0 shutout. Point being, they can't score on the road, though. That's an anomaly. That one doesn't count. That's not a real defense. Can't score on the road. Newcastle, the Magpies, can't get it done. Everton, they've had 3 straight matches go under this number, along with these 2 teams head-to-head. 3 straight matches gone under. Everton's also gone under in 4 of their last 5. They do have 3 home shutouts already this season, and they've scored in just 4 of their 7 home contests. So 3 home shutouts for Everton. They've also been shut out 3 times at home. I trust both back lines enough to keep this one low scoring. I see it being a draw. I can't decide if I like 1-1 or 0-0. 1-1 draw plus 525. 0-0 draw plus 850. You can pick your poison there. A couple of correct scores. Both would cover the other if as long as we just hit one. So Everton and Newcastle under the 2.5. Found it at minus 111 this morning, and definitely like that bet. Love the under in this game. Trust both those back lines. Neither offense has been overly impressive. Both back lines are pretty rock solid, just getting the job done. So I expect that to continue today. So Everton and Newcastle under 2.5. I like 1-1 drop plus. Sorry, I forgot those numbers. Excuse me, 1-1 draw at plus 525 or a 0-0 scoreless draw at plus 850. All right, moving along to the last game on the EPL slate today, a 2 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock in the afternoon Central start, 3 o'clock Eastern, little afternoon footy sweat amongst all of your college football and basketball that's going to be going on that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But Tottenham hosting Fulham, and we're betting value. We are betting value here at Tottenham plus 130. Because I don't think this number should have a plus sign next to it. That's it. That's the handicap. This number's outrageous. For Tottenham at home against a team like Fulham, they should not be plus money, in my opinion. So I will be backing the plus 130 without thinking twice. Now, the Spurs are dealing with plenty of injuries, but they're simply the much better team. At home, they should get the job done. Tottenham, they sit at number 9 on the EPL table, but they are number 4 in goals scored. They are one of 4 teams to net 20 goals this season so far. They're also number 8 in goals conceded. So they're playing better based off goals scored, goals allowed. They're playing better than their spot on the table. Lucky for them, Fulham's attack, horrendous. Absolutely horrendous, not dangerous at all. The visitors, Fulham, they've netted just 13 goals this season. Quick math, it's just over 1 per match. And they do have just 4 total in 5 road matches as well. They do not have a win on the road this season, and they only have 1 draw. They drew to Brighton and Hove Albion very early in the season, but on the road, Fulham, they've lost to Chelsea, to Aston Villa, to Newcastle United, and Everton. The Spurs should be able to handle them. If those 4 teams can all beat Fulham at home, so can the Spurs. I think they get the job done today at plus 130. I think it is going to be low scoring. So I do like Tottenham to win 1-0 at plus 675. So give me the Spurs. Give me the Spurs 1-0 plus 675 and on the money line at plus 130. My man SPJ, he dipped out of the studio as soon as he heard me talking about the Spurs. He didn't want to hear any of that. He didn't want to hear any of that. That's okay. He'll be back here in about 40-ish minutes. SPJ and Danny Burke joining me to talk all things, all sports on Betspresso here shortly. But you still got me yapping about soccer here for the next 40 minutes or so. We're going to load up the old Peacock and make sure Man City and Leeds is able to be viewed, able to be sweated out. Let me turn the volume down so you guys can't hear it. Alrighty. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's 5 EPL games. I know I didn't get much into Brentford Burnley. No, thank you. We're going to stay away from that one. No bets in Sunderland and AFC Bournemouth, but I am probably going to be kicking myself for not taking Sunderland later, even on the money line as a sprinkle. Plus 220, I'm seeing. I don't believe that would be taking the plus 220 on Sunderland would not necessarily be a play of I think Sunderland is going to win, but it's more of that number shouldn't be there. It's chasing value. I know our good friend Colby Marcio talks about it plenty in baseball. Sometimes you bet on things just because of the price, because that is not right. That's what I would be doing with Sunderland. I don't think Sunderland should be plus 220 dogs against AFC Bournemouth at home. Even with Semenyo coming back for Bournemouth, no thank you. I don't think that's right. I think Sunderland have been playing well. I think they've been sliding down the table a bit. This would be the perfect spot for them to get back on the horse. So, nope, I'm not taking it. Lean with Sunderland. Lay it off. All right, moving on. Moving right along. We got some MLS to chit-chat about. MLS, the conference finals are this evening, tonight. Inter Miami hosting New York City FC at 5 o'clock Central this evening, and then San Diego FC hosting the Vancouver Whitecaps. Let's discuss these two matches. For starters, Inter Miami have not lost to New York City in a while. Definitely not this season. Back in September, Inter Miami were able to take down New York City FC 4-0 at home. Excuse me, at home for New York City at Yankee Stadium. I guess that game was played at Citi Field. At Citi Field, home of the Mets, New York City FC lost to Inter Milan 4-0. Inter Miami completely dominated that game. Four goals, 3 of them came in the last 74 minutes, but outshot them 8-2. 12-9 overall. They won the corner kick battle. They won possession. They just looked like the better team from start to finish. Now, back in February, to basically start the season, these two teams drew 2-2. This was, again, back in February, which, yes, that was the MLS regular season. It began pretty much the last week of February. These two teams had a 2-2 draw in Fort Lauderdale at Chase Stadium. And Inter Miami were able to just salvage a draw with a 90 plus 10 minute stoppage time equalizer. Now, I have my doubts when it comes to New York City FC, mainly because they lost their top goal scorer, Alonso Martinez. He suffered an ACL tear to his meniscus as well while playing for Costa Rica in the November international break. Out for the playoffs. That seriously hurts this New York City FC team, but I got to tip my cap to them. It didn't hurt them against Philadelphia. In the conference semifinals, they took down the best team in the MLS, the Philadelphia Union, 1-0 on the road, and, did it in, I don't want to say dominant fashion, but they took it to them. It wasn't like they got that goal and just held back and parked the bus the whole time. New York City was rock solid all game long. Now, my gut always leans under with New York City games, just because of how good their back line is. New York City has one of the best back lines in the entire MLS. 3 shutouts already in these MLS playoffs. But it's Inter Miami. It's Inter Miami. And, not to... how do I say this? Not to put on the tinfoil hat too tight, but I don't know if anyone stops Inter Miami. Does that have to do with how good they are as a football soccer team? Yes, a little bit. I think it also has to do plenty with Messi being the MLS's golden boy. And, again, reading into the... I don't want to say it's rigged, but reading into somebody's making a call, somebody's pulling those strings, Inter Miami wins this game. There, you don't let them get all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then they lose to the 5th seed as the 3 seed. I don't think that's going to happen. So, with that in mind, Inter Miami's minus 200 for a reason. I would be willing to back them on the -1.25. No, because then we push and lose. I might just go the -1.5 for Inter Miami. I think Inter Miami to win. Let me look at that real quick. I think Inter Miami -1.5 is going to be the play. I think maybe we are just going to screw on the tinfoil hat as tight as possible today. Because I don't want to back the 1.25. So we back to 1.25. We still need them to win by 2 to profit. Even with plus money, they win by 1, we push and lose. That's not profit. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the 1.5 plus 125. Not terrible. I like that. Let me do some line shopping. Make sure it's not better anywhere else. Inter Miami. Yeah, maybe we'll just go full tinfoil hat the rest of the MLS playoffs. If Vancouver loses, we might have to do that. Where the hell is MLS? Why do you make it so hard to find these things? Soccer gets no respect on American sports books. I'll say it that way. No respect. Zero respect. Soccer in general, but especially the MLS. They make it as difficult as possible to find these wagers, which is why I can't find it. Where's the freaking spread? There we go. Hey, plus 126. We're getting an extra penny. I'll take it. Take every penny I can get. Inter Miami, minus 1.5, plus 126. If you want a bigger breakdown on that game, let me see if my good friend NZ's got it up. Nope. Love when technology doesn't work for me. Nope, doesn't look like that article's up yet, but don't you worry, because Mr. NZ will have some scribbles on that Inter Miami and New York City FC game. I would have to guess he's taking Messi to score. Just a guess. Austin, how we doing, sir? Welcome. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday. Hope you got some time off, Austin. Spend some time with the family during the holidays. I know you're a hardworking man, but I hope they gave you a little time off this weekend. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving, always. NZ will have scribbles for Inter Miami and New York City FC. But as you know, I am on Inter Miami minus the 1.5 plus 126. I actually just booked that right now, so it is official. We are back in Lionel Messi and Austin's work. Hardest working man ever. Austin, right there. Appreciate you tuning in anyways, man. Thank you. As always, thank you all for being here, chat. Appreciate every single last one of you. Very thankful for all of you. And stick around, because we got 30 more minutes here on 90 Minutes to Glory, but a whole hour of Betspresso coming to you live at 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern. Danny Burke and Daniel Collins, Mr. SPJ, going to be joining me to talk college basketball, college football. Those guys will be bringing you plenty of NBA as well. And I'm bringing you some MLS right now. Let's get into it. Vancouver and San Diego, the Western Conference Final. And I actually will have scribbles on this game later today, but you guys are getting the vocal scribbles right now. I guarantee you about 80% of the words I use right now capping this game, they're going to end up in my article. So you guys are getting it early. You guys are getting the vocal version. San Diego, Vancouver. 2 West Coast teams. 2 teams on the very top of the Western Conference table for good reason. They've both netted 70-plus goals this season, and they've only allowed 40-ish. 44 for San Diego, 41 for Vancouver. Point being, these teams are really good. They're here for a reason. This is the conference finals. This is a single elimination match. I guess I should have started with the Inter Miami game with that. This is a single elimination match. Do or die, hosted by the higher seed, just like the conference semifinals were. Now in the conference finals, one single elimination match, do or die. If things are tied after 90 minutes, we are going to have standard extra time, which means 2 15-minute periods of extra time to settle the score. If things are still tied, we go into a PK shootout. And most of these bets, at least at Inter Miami, minus 1.5, that's a 90-minute bet. Most of your wagers on these games are going to be settled within 90 minutes, regardless of if we see extra time or not. Now, before the conference semifinals, I believe that's right. Yeah, before the conference semifinals, we still had 8 teams left in the MLS, and I was asked to pick a winner for the overall MLS Cup. Who's going to do it? We got 8 teams left. Who's going to do it? And I might have said it on this show. I might have said it on another show. But I said, whoever wins, Vancouver and LAFC, they're going to lift the trophy. Vancouver moved on. They beat LAFC. They are now my pick to win the MLS Cup. I like Vancouver to do so. And that involves getting by San Diego today on the road. Now, am I going to back Vancouver on the 90-minute money line at plus 190? I might have a sprinkle. Not going to lie, might have to sprinkle. But we're still getting plus money for them to advance. This bet is not 90 minutes. This one you can find on pretty much every book. I'm finding it right now on BetOnline at plus 105. Vancouver to advance in any way, shape, form, total goals, does not matter as long as the Whitecaps move on. That's all we need. So this one actually is more than a 90-minute wager, but we're taking Vancouver to advance. This is going to be the third meeting between these two teams. They played back in June and July and saw some very high scoring contests, at least in the first one. First match in Vancouver, San Diego was able to take down the Whitecaps 5-3. We saw how many first half goals is that one? Excuse me. 4 first half goals, 4 second half goals in this matchup. This is in San Diego, Austin. This one's in San Diego. But we're back in the road team, baby. In Vancouver, San Diego got the job done. They won. That was back in June. In July, San Diego got the host. Vancouver actually took it to them. They played to a 1-1 draw. San Diego actually needed a 79th minute. Ha! Man City's on the board. They just kicked off. This is good. This is good. But it's not going to matter. All right, we're going to get back into MLS in a second. We're changing gears. I gotta see this first. Hold on. They're 80 seconds into this game. And who was it? Of course. That was Holland. Oh, no, it was Foden. Foden got his foot on it. Oh, Phil Foden. Man City. All right. Man City, we're on the board. Okay, we're on the board. That's part of the wager. We need the money line. All right, good. Offense is churning. The real kicker in this one is we need the defense. And we don't need the defense for a half. We don't need the defense for 70 minutes. We need the defense all 90 minutes. All right, City, lock in. Back line. Figure it out. Come on. Lock in. No goals. No goals. You already got the hard part out of the way. That's the hard part, is scoring. Oh, and you sicko. You filth animal. Let's go Sunderland then. I'm cheering for the Black Cats with you. All right, regroup, refocus, back to the MLS Western Conference Finals. Vancouver, San Diego. I'm back in Vancouver to advance, plus 105. This wager is going to be scary. These are the two best teams. In my opinion, the two best teams remaining. I think both of those teams are better than Inter Miami, quite personally. But that's a conversation we'll have in a couple weeks when one of them face Miami in the MLS Cup. I like Vancouver, and I think just for plus money for them to advance in, again, any way, shape, or form, that's a good bet for me. Plus 105. Let me see if I can find. I don't think. Well, no, you'll be able to find this wager on other books. Again, no love for the American sports, for MLS on the American sports books. I'm sick of it. If you don't, thinking about it this way, if you don't want to back Vancouver, to advance, you could take them to lift the MLS Cup plus 250. That number's not going to be there. You would think if they play Miami, they're not going to be a plus 250 dog. I'm seeing plus 102 on the blue book for Vancouver to advance. So you can get that wager there. I'm sure there's a similar line on the green book as well. Yeah. I think Vancouver to advance. I think that's going to be my wager. Like I said, I will have scribbles out on this game later today. Yes, Austin, to qualify the same as to advance. Yes, correct. Great question. Just different wording from the book. But yes, same thing to qualify, to advance to the next round, both the same things. All we need them to do is move on. If they do it in 90 minutes in a win, great. Awesome. If it's a draw after 90 minutes and then they net a goal in stoppage time and win in stoppage time, great. Awesome. They advance. If things are tied after 90, things are still tied after 120 minutes, after extra time, they win in PK shootout, boom, we advance. That's a winner. All we need them to do is be playing for the MLS Cup here in a couple weeks. I think it's in a couple weeks. Here in a couple weeks. But Vancouver to advance, to qualify, to move on, however your book words it. Plus money, should be plus money. And again, we're kind of covering our bases there. I don't hate a sprinkle on the money line at close to 2-1 because I do think this one is settled in 90 minutes either way. But we're going to back Vancouver plus money for them to advance. That's good enough for me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was some MLS 2 conference finals today. Let's go to tomorrow because tomorrow we've got 5 more EPL games on the slate. Actually got an early one tomorrow as well. Crystal Palace and Manchester United getting things started at 6 a.m. Central, 7 o'clock Eastern tomorrow morning. Let's break it down. Let's cap some EPL and let's cheer on Manchester City. Don't worry, people. 23 minutes. 23 minutes. Reinforcements. They're coming. Danny Burke, Daniel Collins, SBJ, joining me to talk all things, all Saturday sports here on BetSpresso. But before that, let's close out the show breaking down tomorrow's EPL slate. What up, Chew? How we doing? All right, Crystal Palace, Manchester United. My gut just says Crystal Palace. They're favored. They're at home. That makes sense. But I unfortunately have to admit that Manchester United have been playing well. I lied. No, I didn't lie. They are coming off a loss, a home loss to Everton at Old Trafford. But other than that, unbeaten in 5 straight games, including wins over Liverpool and Sunderland, drew with Tottenham. So they've been all right recently. As far as Crystal Palace, they're the talk of the town. I did not expect much from Crystal Palace this season, especially after trading away Eberici early in the season. I kind of thought he was the extent of their attack, and that hasn't necessarily been the case. But Crystal Palace, number 5 on the table, only netting about 16 goals this season. That's not even. Is that even in the top 10? 1, 2, 3. That's 10th. That's number 10 on the table. They're number 5 on the table right now, but 10th in goals scored. What does that tell you? It tells you their defense is phenomenal. Second in the league in goals allowed are Crystal Palace, one of 2 teams to allow less than double-digit goals through 12 games of the season. That only other team, Arsenal, the Gunners. They've allowed 6. They're at the top of the table for a reason. I've had this conversation before. If you don't allow goals, good things happen. I feel like the offense eventually takes care of itself. Defensively, though, if you're not sound, you're just going to get beat. And you're going to be playing on your heels most of the time, too. I don't like this. Leeds is in an attacking position. I don't like it. Please get the ball out of here. There we go. Thank you. All right. Heavy lean on Crystal Palace. I'm not sure I'll bring it to the table, to the counter. But heavily lean with Crystal Palace. Coming off a loss, back at home, unbeaten in how many EPL games? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. 5. Are they unbeaten at home this season? Crystal Palace might be unbeaten at home this year. Nope, not the Conference League. I don't care about the Conference League. Crystal Palace is unbeaten at home this year, but they do have 3 draws, wins over Brentford and Liverpool, 3 other draws. In the Conference League, they did lose at home. Not too worried about that. In the Carabao Cup, they needed PKs to get by Millwall. Well, hey, Grealish. What's going on, man? How you doing? Sorry, I'm reading your comment. W Pitch Talk, as always. We love soccer around these parts. Papa Shaq says Palace. I'm in. Grealish Cav says Palace. I'm in. That's all I needed. Crystal Palace plus 127 is what I'm seeing on the money line right now on Bet Online. I like it. I'm taking it. I'm booking it. Love the boost of confidence from the chat. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. As always, Man City, hold strong defensively, please. Garrett, how we doing, sir? Sorry, LeBron sold, but hey, guess what? NBA's back today. SPJ, Danny Burke, joining me in about 19 minutes to talk all things NBA so we can get some more. We're going to get your coin back. All right, from LeBron, we're getting your coin back. But Sunday EPL Crystal Palace has been booked at plus 127. In the in the next show, Jay Measy. In the next show, don't worry. They're 18 minutes now. 18-minute countdown. Start your timers. See you in 18 minutes. I'll still be here yapping. All right. Moving along. Crystal Palace has been booked on the money line. Let's see what else we've got on the slate for Sunday. Yes, we're going to get into Chelsea Arsenal. I will tell you right now, it's Arsenal. We'll get into that here a little bit. Aston Villa and Wolverhampton. My gut is going to say Aston Villa to 0. Wolverhampton's at the bottom of the table. They're allowing a ton of goals. They haven't scored any. Aston Villa finally finding their stride too. This was a team that struggled early on. Struggled early on in the year. And now they're a team that's won 4 straight. Outscoring those teams 10-2 in the process. Yeah, Villa to 0 might be getting booked right now as well. What are you going to give me for it? Bet online, Villa to win. Both teams to score 0. Plus 150. Villa to 0. I think that's getting booked as well. I have very, very little faith in Wolverhampton to score at all. They're barely netting half a goal per game. They are still looking for their first EPL victory of the season. I don't think it's going to come against an Aston Villa team that has propelled their way to 4th on the table. Good for them. I remember just a couple weeks ago, I was backing Aston Villa, and I was making a deal with all of you people, actually. I was making a deal that if they lost, I wouldn't bet them again the rest of the season. Thankfully, they came through. We continued betting on them, and I think I'm going to actually bet them tomorrow to win 2-0. Aston Villa on the money line at plus, and Aston Villa on the money line, both teams to score 0, plus 150. Villa's won 4 straight. They are certainly finding their stride, and they're facing the worst team in the league. That's about it. That's about it, to be quite honest with you. I mean, at home this year, Villa drew with Newcastle. They lost to Crystal Palace. Since then, 3-1 win over Fulham, 2-1 win over Burnley, 1-0 win over Man City, 4-0 win over AFC Bournemouth. They've won 4 straight. They're in fantastic form. I think they keep it going tomorrow. Ron, how we doing? Welcome in. Aston Villa, we're breaking down Sunday's EPL right now, locking in our bets. We already got Crystal Palace on the money line at plus 127, and now we're going to go with Aston Villa and both teams to score 0. Let me punch these in real quick. Oh, I gotta go to a different. No, it's still the 30th tomorrow. I was like, I gotta go to a different month. Service era. God, this app sucks. This app is absolutely horrendous. Oh, hey, I can do that one. Okay. You'll let me bet that game, but not the other game. That makes sense. No free promo, but this app does suck. Both teams score no. Plus 150. There we go. Aston Villa to win a nil locked in. Are you really not letting me lock in Crystal Palace? There it is. Crystal Palace. Ooh, there's a 135 for Palace. Like that. All right. Lock in. 14 minutes. 14 minutes is all we got. Man City is about to score again. They got a free kick in the attacking third. Let's watch it, see how it goes. Phil Foden. Oh, no, that was Diaz. Foden was standing over there. And it's cleared going the other way. All right, Aston Villa, locked in. Crystal Palace, locked in. What are the other two games? Owen, don't check that Sunderland score. Yikes. All right, Sunday, looking at the other two matches. Forest and Brighton. I'm probably going to hold off. Yes, those games are tomorrow. Those games are tomorrow, Ron. Crystal Palace on the money line and Aston Villa to win to nil. Both those games kicking off your Sunday morning. That Crystal Palace at 6 a.m. Central, 7 o'clock Eastern. But yes, Ron, both of those games are tomorrow. And one more tomorrow is Chelsea and Arsenal. Marquee game. Top two on the table. Arsenal with a 6-point lead. Chelsea getting to play host. Two very, very high-scoring offenses. Two pretty rock-solid defenses, although Arsenal's is significantly better. When was the last time Chelsea beat Arsenal? Let's see if I can figure that out. Anyone got that off the top of your head? Chelsea's last time defeating Arsenal. 2021? Is that right? It's just in the Premier League, so it could be sooner. I don't know if I trust that data. This is what I want. That's the website. Chelsea, Arsenal. Let's see what this scares up. Yes, give me all the cookies. That's fine. That's an Arsenal win. That's a draw. That's an Arsenal win. That's a draw. That's an Arsenal win. That's also an Arsenal win. That's an Arsenal win. That's an 2021. Yep. August 22nd, 2021, Chelsea took down Arsenal at the Emirates 2-0. That was the last time Chelsea beat Arsenal. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 straight matches. Chelsea have not earned a victory over the Gunners. I'll be honest, I don't see them starting tomorrow. Even with Chelsea being at home, even with Cole Palmer being back, huge, massive for the Blues. Even though their offense has been clicking without him, he is going to be in the lineup, or at least available. Let's put it that way. He's got to be available. Ooh, is he going to start? Are you going to tell me if he's going to start? Stupid article won't load. Cole Palmer back available for Chelsea. Definitely helps their offense, but it's Arsenal, man. It's Arsenal who have been dominant recently. 3-1 win over Munich. 4-1 win over Tottenham. They drew with Sunderland on the road. 3-0 shutout, 2-0 shutout, 2-0 shutout, 1-0 shutout, 4-0 shutout, 1-0 shutout, 2-0 shutout, 2-0 shutout. I could keep going. The Gunners are just that good. They are probably, I would say that Arsenal has the best back line in all of football, all of soccer at this moment, right now, across all countries, across all leagues, across all levels of competition. Arsenal has the best back line in all of football. And it's definitely going to come into play against the Chelsea team who might be aggressive at home. Chelsea is probably going to see this. Chelsea actually coming off 3 straight shutouts of their own. Shut out Barcelona at home. Of course, they were playing a man up most of the game, so and only one didn't have a goal from the field in the 11-on-11. It was an own goal, then the red card, 2 goals after that. I don't know how impressive that really is. I think it's got to be Arsenal. I think it has to be Arsenal for plus money, even on the road. I'm willing to back that back line. Cole Palmer's coming back. I get that. Plus 124 on Bet Online. Wow, it's 10 cents better than the rest of the market. Cole Palmer's coming back, which does worry me a little bit, and it might cause Chelsea to be a little more aggressive in this game. They probably see this as a match that they don't want to draw. They want to win this game because of the flip potential on the table. Down 6 points right now to Arsenal. A win against that Arsenal team puts you within 3. A draw keeps you 6 points behind. The win is what Chelsea needs, especially at home, knowing they're going to have to go to the Emirates and try and get a win against the Gunners later in the season. You've got them at home right now. I don't want to say on their heels. Arsenal's not on their heels. Arsenal's just that good. I like Arsenal. I'm going to stop overthinking. It's Arsenal. It's Arsenal. It's the Gunners. All right, we locked in. It's the Gunners. NZ going to have scribbles on that game later today. But yeah, I think my man SPJ is not even in here to hear me splooging about his Gunners right now. That's what I'm mainly upset about, to be quite honest with you. Where is this guy backstage when all I'm saying is how good Arsenal is, how good they're going to be on the road at Stamford Bridge? That's okay. He'll be here in a little bit. Danny Burke already sitting down there. The boys joining me in about 8 minutes, little less than that, to talk all things college sports and NBA, all things Saturday sports. That's what I meant to say. All things Saturday sports, college basketball, college football, NBA as well. We're getting into all of it here in a little bit. But you still got me yapping for about 7 minutes or so. We're still sweating out City, looking rock solid. And I think that's all the soccer we needed to discuss. Let me go through it one more time for the kids. I guess I should probably type in the plays that I booked for tomorrow. Let me get those on a banner for you all. 135 there. Ooh, good typing, Nate. Phenomenal. Boom. And Aston Villa. Moneyline. Plus 150. Boom. All right. One more time for the kiddos. Today. Trivia time. Sean Beasy. You know the drill. One more time for the kids. Starting at 11 o'clock Central. 11 o'clock Central. Wrong button again. Gotta love technology. 11:30, excuse me. 11:30 Central. A little extra time to lock this in. Everton and Newcastle going under 2.5 at minus 111. Both these teams very, very good defensively. The offense has been the issue for both teams. Newcastle coming into this game struggling to score on the road. Everton, not the most aggressive offense. Seeing Newcastle come into town, I think they're going to be a little bit more cautious, causing this one to stay under 2.5. I do like the 1-1 draw or the 0-0 draw. Take your pick. 1-1 draw was plus 525. The 0-0 was plus 850 if you're a fan of those correct scores. Moving along at 2 o'clock Central in the middle of all our college football, college basketball watching. We're still going to be sweating out Tottenham on the money line at plus 130. Tottenham hosting Fulham. Fulham, not good. Plain and simple. Easy as that. We're betting value here. I don't believe there should be a plus sign next to this number. That's the extent of my cap. Tottenham's a better team here. They're in phenomenal form as well. I don't see Fulham's attack doing anything. Fulham shut out Tottenham 2-0 last time they met, actually. That was way back in March. Doesn't have much, doesn't mean much to this game, but Tottenham, I think, is just a better team. Plus 130, I think, is a gift, to be quite honest with you. So, give me Tottenham. Give me the Spurs on the money line. And then tomorrow we have already booked Crystal Palace at plus 135, hosting Manchester United at Old Trafford. Crystal Palace, just the surprise of the season so far in the EPL. Defense has been rock solid, second in the league in goals allowed, one of two teams allowing under double-digit goals so far this season through 12 matches. That other team, Arsenal, the Gunners, Manchester City on the board again. Come on now. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We need the shutout, man. We need the defense, all right? We're still sweating for math. 65 minutes. We still got 65 minutes of sweat left. Man City, one more goal would be great. I would love that 3-0 correct score, but all I want is the plus money for the shutout victory. Phenomenal corner kick. And that just bounced around. Keeper, you should have caught it, bro. Should have got a bigger punch on it. All right, City on the board. Gotta love that. Absolutely phenomenal. Tomorrow, though, Crystal Palace, plus 135 on the money line, hosting Manchester United. Excuse me, not at Old Trafford. I think I said that. Not at Old Trafford. Crystal Palace at home. The defense has been rock solid. I think it continues to show tomorrow. Manchester United, not a team that I am willing to have much faith in. Offensively, defensively, doesn't matter. Spread matters for someone down there, Papa Shags. The spread matters for someone. Manchester United, just their offense has been a little lackluster, not living up to the standard. I think Crystal Palace defense holds strong and gets the job done tomorrow. And then we also booked this one, Aston Villa on the money line. And both teams to score no. Aston Villa to win to 0 at plus 150. They are hosting the worst team in the EPL tomorrow, the Wolverhampton Wanderers. They've scored 7 goals and allowed 27 in 12 matches. Aston Villa finding their stride, 4 straight wins, outscoring teams 10-2 in those 4 matches. Actually won 5 of their last 6 as well, excluding a loss to Liverpool. I think at home against the worst team in the league, they're going to handle business and get the job done in shutout fashion. Oh, Papa Shags, they're checking this goal for offsides. That guy's definitely offsides, but how much of the play is he influencing? I guess he's in the keeper's way. This one might get called back. That's okay, though, because we just need Man City's defense. Don't do it, Man City. Don't allow a cheap one when you're up 3-0. That'd just be horrendous. All right. 2.5 minutes left of me yip-yapping on 90 Minutes of Glory. But don't go anywhere, people, because we got a full Saturday show on Betspresso for you. Danny Burke and Daniel Collins, Mr. SBJ, joining me here shortly. They're both sitting in the shadows. SBJ missed all my Arsenal splooging, so I'm not going to go through that again. Sorry, but they're...
What? Do it again.
Hey, what's up? How's
No,
it going?
do no. I'd love to hear it again. Do it again.
Why are the Gunners plus money tomorrow? Why? I get they're on the road. I get Chelsea's been playing good, but
I don't know.
It's Arsenal.
It's just the damn ties, man. I don't know. What's the line?
They're I saw plus 124. Plus 124 on Bet Online right now. Chelsea's plus 245. Like, Cole Palmer is available. I don't know if he's going to be in the starting lineup. And I mean, Chelsea's offense has been fine without him, but
yeah,
it's still
Arsenal.
It's Arsenal. and I know the Gunners see this game as if we lose it, that's a big flip. They're up 6 points on the table on Chelsea.
Yep.
If you give Chelsea that win, boom, that's 3 points now. So I don't see a world where Chelsea wins.
I'm tailing. Give me Arsenal.
All right.
Let's go.
There it is. Plus 124 on the money line for Arsenal. NZ going to have scribbles on that game later this evening. Check them out at bettingnews.com. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been an hour of 90 Minutes of Glory. Thank you for being here. As always, starting your Saturday morning, sweating out some soccer, listening to me talk about soccer. Appreciate it. As always, don't go anywhere. I'm sticking around. I'm joined by 2 handsome fellas. We're going to talk all things Saturday sports, college hoops, college football, NBA. We got it all. And it's happening right now right here, right now on the BNN because Betspresso. I'm watching the clock. Don't worry. I got 10 seconds. Betspresso starts right now. Thanks for being here, people. Appreciate you. See you on the flip side.
Disco X on the line, just as I suspected. No one really gets over me. I'm unaffected. Why would you try to ever put me second? You're just another groupie to me. No, I'm out here single, and I need some real. Now I got standards, give a fuck how you feel. I'm out here single, tell me what's the deal. Now I got standards, give a fuck how you feel.
You heard the man. Another hour right here on the Betting News Network. Welcome to your Betspresso to kick off your Saturday. This guy's been keeping you entertained for the last hour. That's Jackie Betts. We got Danny Burke in the house on a Saturday. Excited to have you guys with us. My name's Sweatpants Jesus. Vibes are high in the chat. Look at that. Look at all the vibey boys in the chat. Rocking and rolling. They appreciate you too, Shags, bringing the vibe this early on a Saturday morning. Feeling good. Feeling good. Feeling great. We're going to be a good Saturday in front of us, lads. How we doing? Ready to rock and roll?
Yes, sir.
I'm ready, baby. Feeling good.
Absolutely. Yeah, see, this Peach got the juice, knows what's going on. Absolutely. I'm just excited that I get to hang out with you because I never get to hang out with you anymore, which makes me sad. But as we've talked about, I get to spend the next hour with you, which is fun. I get to see Danny often throughout the week, which is always fun, but it's nice to see him on a Saturday as well. So
Likewise, my friend.
Absolutely. And you're in a good mood today. We'll talk about it in a second. But did you guys get into any fun frivolity last night on the Friday evening aspects of things before we jump into what we got on this beautiful Saturday?
Oh, I just locked in about 1 million bets for today. That's about it. Those are my Fridays nowadays.
A man of the people. Yeah. What about you, DB? Did you get into any fun last night?
Oh, yeah. We had a great time. You know, we were celebrating our mini Super Bowl yesterday, all of my friends and myself. So, yeah, I had a good Friday and happy to keep the celebration going into today. I know we had a bunch of Eagles fans in the chat. There's Austin right on cue, baby. Come on. I know he was ready for the BTA. Did not come to fruition. Got to give my boys some respect. Come on now, fellas.
What happened, Eagles? What happened? Hey, I'm glad you're here today, big dog, because you deserve your team deserves the flowers today. They were great yesterday, man, and the Eagles are frauds. So that's all is true. And no, I was surprised by the result. I think a lot of people were, not only to cover, but to win outright and to win by multiple scores in Philadelphia was pretty electric. And they did it in great fashion. Caleb Williams looked really good. We've talked about this. Ben Johnson took his tarp off last night. Shout out to all you guys in Chicago getting the free hot dogs, the free wieners for the tarps coming off. I watched that video, dude. Chad, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, just go type in Ben Johnson on the timeline and it'll pop up for sure. You'll find it. I felt like I wanted to rip my shirt off and go play for the Chicago Bears after watching that video, dude.
Yeah, how do you not want to run through a brick wall for that man if he's your coach? I mean, that's
absolutely
amazing. Insane game. Here's the thing. Look, this is another situation where the defense comes up huge. And that's been the mantra of this Bears team since 85, right? Is a defensive identity. But now you bring in an offensive coach. Metrically speaking, at the beginning of the year, and even still now, they rank very low in a lot of those categories, but it's evident they're improving in a lot of them. But more importantly, they're generating these turnovers, getting two of them yesterday with the interception, and then solving the push by stripping it out. And Dennis Allen even said during this week of practice, they're like, we got a way to figure it out. Like, we practiced it. We're going to, and I don't know if he was talking about that directly, but even before they stripped him, they stopped him before the first down. So they did defend it pretty well, and then they were able to strip it. And this is what this team does. They lead the league in turnover differential. Now they're plus 18, if I'm not mistaken. And that's when they win these games, is when they generate the turnovers. And I didn't think they were going to be able to get any against a fairly disciplined Eagles team. I was proven wrong. You hear Vic Fangio talking about all their schemes offensively and how just ridiculous it was. Like, they just completely outcoached this Eagles teams from a schematic foundation, from physicality perspective. And then just the fact, and I completely eat my crow on this one, SPJ. You know, I was talking about this all week. I thought the Bears rushing game was going to be just non-existent, and it couldn't have been any further from that. I mean, Monangai, 130 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. Swift, 125 and a touchdown. I thought that was going to be the weaker part of the Bears game, thus leading Caleb to throw and getting over his passing yards. That was not the case, although he did attempt 36 passes, which is insane, just to show you how much time of possession the Bears had. Like, it was not even close if you just look at those numbers. And with all of this encapsulated, and you guys obviously feel free to call me crazy, and I'm trying my best to be objective, but like, the Bears are doing this with Caleb still playing pretty subpar. Like, he's making the plays when he needs to, but he's not doing anything exceptional consistently. Now, some receivers slipped. He certainly missed that throw to Rome in the end zone. Rome also could have ran to the ball, but it was still Caleb's fault. But you're not getting a prolific Caleb Williams. You're getting a coming up in the clutch Caleb Williams, which for the time being is doing enough to get the job done.
100%. I mean, I guess you're trying to be a tempered Bears fan in certain aspects, but that was a huge win yesterday, dude.
Yeah.
And I mean, I thought Caleb Williams, like you said, some receivers fell down. It was very windy, so there was problems with throwing more balls down the field and those seam routes and stuff like that. So that was going to be an issue yesterday too. But I mean, the mayor of Murfreesboro, Kevin Byard's also leading the NFL in interceptions. He hadn't lost a step since he left us in Tennessee. Or GG's, but no, man, the Bears look good, top of the division. That was a huge win yesterday, and you should definitely feel good. It made you feel better after watching Nebraska. We don't even have to talk about it, but you can just feel good about your Bears and move on from Nebraska, right?
Exactly. Yeah, no, that made me feel great, and it looked like it was going to get to a point where the Bears were going to out-Bears himself, because like, as a fan, you think it's eventually going to come in one of these games in this winning streak, and after they couldn't capitalize with the interception, then he had the penalty, and then he get the AJ Brown touch. It's like, all right, here we go again. And then somehow they get the fumble, the strip from the tush push. And it's like something in the universe, in the law of physics, and in the life we live changed in our timeline to where good things are happening to the Bears. It doesn't make any sense, Shags.
I'm not ready for it, to be honest with you. I'm not ready for whatever Colby's going to tell me on Monday about how good this Bears team is. But, I mean, you said it too about Caleb Williams not playing exceptionally well, still a sub 60 completion percentage on the season, completed just 47% passes yesterday. But you said it, the running game was there for Chicago. 39 minutes of possession against Philadelphia Eagles teams. That's how you win a game like that on the road, is you keep the ball, keep that offense on the sideline. They weren't able to do anything. So tip the cap to the Chicago Bears, because they just straight up won that game. They went into Philly and dominated and came out with a win.
They punched him in the mouth early in the trenches to run the football with that offensive line. They were moving people, and they said, you guys better keep up, strap in. We're going to do this for 60 minutes. And the Eagles weren't ready for it. I sent you guys this meme, or I don't know if it was a meme, but it was the girl like dancing and like crying on the like singing show. But then she like looks at the camera and she's like, that thing. And the tweet was AJ Brown after 120 and 2 touchdown yard performance, but losing. To have that be the situation, which, they did that, they fixed that problem, but it didn't lead to a dub, unfortunately. Let's talk about this just for a little bit longer, and then we'll maybe touch on a few more things from yesterday, and then we'll jump in. We got a huge day today. Obviously, we got rivalry week in front of us. We'll talk about the big college football games today. Got some CBB action on the hardwood today. We've also got some NBA. Chat's already clamoring for some Danny unders for the NBA today. I'm sure he's got a couple. I bet you Shags has got some unders too. So if you like betting unders, it's your day. I'll give you guys some overs if you want to bet some overs too. But we'll have all the vibes for you guys for the rest. And then at the end of the show, we're doing a giveaway in honor of it being the week of giving. So stick around right here on Twitch. If you're watching us on YouTube or on X, thanks for being here. We appreciate you wherever you're watching. But come and hang out with us, twitch.tv/betting news. We will give you something at the end of the show, give you a swag pack. It's actually sitting right next to me, right down there. It's right there. It's going to go to one of you guys. It's right there. But I wanted to ask you guys, what is your feelings about the Eagles after this game? Because obviously, Danny, I know you can be elated about this, but like to turn it to just an NFL perspective, are you guys – I've been kind of saying since the beginning of the season that I think this team is fraudulent. They obviously are the Super Bowl winners. They go through stretches of looking very, very good and very unbeatable, and then they go through stretches where they shit the bed and don't look good at all. Are you guys concerned about this team at all right now?
I want a legitimate definition for fraudulent. That's a term that's used so much in sports media, and I think there's a wide range of definitions in people's minds. So you're the one that used the word, SBJ. What is fraudulent when talking about the Eagles? How would you define that?
I think that they are not an elite football team right now.
Okay.
So I think that their level of being I don't think that they are right now a championship contender in the NFC. So I do not think that they have. Do I think that they can still win a championship? Yes. But what we have seen so far through 13 weeks of the season is this team looks like they have, and that you guys know this, when it gets to the playoffs, it's one game. You got to win one football game to get you to the next one. And unfortunately, this team has the propensity, from what we have seen this season, to shit the bed in the biggest moments, offensively for the most part. So I just don't think that they have the goods right now on the offensive side of the football to be able to get them over the line to win 4 straight games in January to get you to that big win in February. So that's my definition of, I think that they're fraudulent and their offense cannot carry them to another Super Bowl championship.
Fair.
Yeah, it's a very unique situation with them because on paper, they still have, obviously, it's essentially the same team as their Super Bowl winning team. The difference, though, and this is something that we signaled out before the season, and it's been that much more evident now, is the inevitable regression of Saquon Barkley. Running backs that rush for over 2,000 yards see that regression, and it is very intense for Saquon. And their offense is solely based around his success level. That's why they found that championship success last season. Now that it's clear that he's not the same running back as he was last year, you have to pivot. That doesn't mean that you completely abandon him, but you can't just solely rely on him being the main focal point of your offense. I was confused as a Bears fan yesterday why Jalen Hurts wasn't running the ball more, because when he did, it was successful in its own right, but they abandoned it pretty frequently, or really they just didn't emphasize it. They tried to get Saquon going, and then when Jalen was passing, we know he's not the most consistent or accurate thrower, but as SPJ alluded to, the conditions weren't ideal. I still think he's a serviceable enough passer, and that was on display against the Cowboys last week, but then they couldn't do anything with that 3-score lead, thus still coming back to the fact that Saquon's not the same running back that he was last year. So I think that you just have to accept that reality. You have to pivot to emphasizing a different part of your offense and just hoping your defense doesn't get bullied as much as the Bears offense did to them on the ground, albeit the Bears did have the number 2 rushing offense entering that game. So now maybe we have to actually label them as legit with their rushing offense. And assuming you're not going to face another rushing offense as good, the defense can hold on. You just got to, again, alter your offensive philosophy, and I still think they'll be fine. I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender at this point anymore, because when you have the kind of losses they did in the season, you don't really look back at Super Bowl winners and go, wow, they overcame that. Like last year, they had some uncomfortable spots, but they still found a way to win. Not like it wasn't to the point where you were like, oh my gosh, what's going on? It was like, they're a little dicey, but you know what? They'll learn from this and improve on it. With the games they've had factored in with the Super Bowl hangover, I don't think you can attribute them as being Super Bowl threat. I mean, threat, sure, but legit contenders, I'm ready to kind of dismiss them from that category.
Before Shag says something about this, you said a point, and they talked about this on the broadcast yesterday, and this is kind of an overarching conversation about the NFL right now as a whole, is like a lot of these offensive coordinators, I feel like, are just trying to outsmart themselves sometimes. And we saw it with the Ravens against the Bengals, doing that by not running the football against one of the worst rushing defenses in the NFL and having Lamar Jackson throw the ball almost 40 times. What did that lead to? An L as a 7-point favorite. What did yesterday happen? As you mentioned, Jalen Hurts, even if you don't run him consistently, the threat of the RPO just wasn't there. Right. And that is one of the biggest calling cards of that offense, is using Saquon and Jalen Hurts both as weapons in the backfield. Jalen Hurts is not a drop back passer that you want to sit back there and have him throw the football 35 times to win you football games. I've never thought he was an elite passer. He can obviously get you the job done and get you over the hump to win a championship. But like, there were throws yesterday that he left out there because of the conditions. Maybe he just wasn't as accurate as he needed to be. And that led to them not being able to stick around in that football game. But I think it was a good point that you mentioned about why they abandoned that. I don't know. And it's something that they have done consistently this season. And Eagles fans know that from watching games back, snap for snap. And it's weird. Like, why would you do that? I just don't understand. I've never understood that schematically from a coach. I've never been a coach of any capacity on football. So it's like, you can't answer that question, but like, it's happening more and more now. And I just, from a fan, you look at it and you go, this seems easy. Like, why are we not doing this?
That's what I find myself always asking when I watch the Chiefs run it from shotgun every single time. It's like, hey, it works under center. Maybe we should go back to that. But look, lucky for the Eagles, they do play in the NFC East, a division that's not doing very well. A game and a half league on the Cowboys. They're probably still going to win the division, assuming they handle business. It's not too easy down the stretch. They got to go to LA and take on the Chargers. They have 2 games against Washington still, and they have to go to Buffalo, get a little bit of a cupcake hosting the Raiders. But I'm with you on. I don't think the Eagles are a Super Bowl contender right now, the way they're playing. Do they have the talent, the capabilities, the ceiling to get there? Absolutely. But I want to see it these next 4 or 5 weeks to close out the season to see if you're legit, because you both said it. They've been very polarizing this year. Looked very good, looked very bad, escaped some close calls. So we'll see how it happens, but I don't have much faith in the Eagles getting back to the big game.
Shags, SPJ, I was just, if you have something to add, feel free. I just at some point before we move on, because I wasn't on the show yesterday, need to get Shaggy's thoughts on the Chiefs. It doesn't have to be long, but I know you guys talked about it. So at some point I would like to get his brief rundown of the situation there.
I have a question about we'll put a bow in the NFL conversation, which will be a chat about that. But yeah, please go for it. Let's chat about the Chiefs. Do you think they're on the mat, my man? Are you worried?
Dude, I'm a little worried. We are probably going to need to win out to make the playoffs is kind of what I'm seeing. Like 11-6 should get us there. But, we got Houston, the Chargers, and the Broncos all coming to town. We got to go to Las Vegas. We got to go to Tennessee. Not too worried about those two. But, 5 wins is tough to close out the season. And, we're at a spot where we've got to pick ourselves back up. And I think there is some motivation being lost on the team. It's really demoralizing when you get so close and then lose all these games. And I know we were on the other side of that last year, won 12, 17 straight 1 possession games. Now we can't win 1 to save our lives besides against the Colts. So it's rough. My biggest thing was, and what I talked with Colby yesterday on Up Your Units is, I want your guys' opinion on this is, okay, the Chiefs have been to 3 straight Super Bowls. Hypothetically, we miss the playoffs. Is that the end of the dynasty? Or if we miss the playoffs and turn around and go to 3 more Super Bowls, it's just a down year, right?
Yeah.
I think people are very quick to claim the end of the dynasty just because, regression has caught up with the Chiefs. You can't keep winning all these 1-score games. It's eventually going to catch up with you. It has caught up with us. It's kind of tilting the scales in the other direction. But I think calling the dynasty over is a little quick, in my opinion.
My concern would be that because of the world we live in, and especially in the world of sports and from a business perspective, is how much longer do you think that the current ownership thinks this window is open? Because you can see it pretty quickly where the turnaround starts to happen with rosters, obviously with also the way that the roster is constructed. I would assume Travis Kelce's probably going to retire at the end of this season. So you have to move on from that particular level of the offense. You obviously have a lot of pass catchers and they can rebuild in certain ways, but you're not going to lose Mahomes. So you have that as a cornerstone of your franchise. But I think it would start to ask some questions just because, your window doesn't stay open forever. I mean, look at the Patriots. They were unbeatable for a decade and then went through the dumps for 3 years. Now they're obviously back at the top of one of the tops of the AFC, but it can happen pretty quickly. Regression can smack you in the face and then drag you in the mud for a while after being at the top of the mountain. So I'd be a little concerned. I don't think that it disregards what's happened, as you're kind of alluding to, of like, it doesn't say that is not still the case, and you could flip it around and turn it around and do it once again. Danny and I talked about this with Adam on Any Given Wager, that we both still feel like that the Chiefs are the the team you're worried about that isn't currently in the playoff picture that could still get to the playoff picture based upon the pedigree that you were just talking about. So I don't think that it's over for sure, but it definitely makes you ask some questions, especially if they are on the outside looking in come January.
Yeah, it's kind of funny from viewpoint of someone like me who has been with such a crap franchise for so long. And not that you're saying
I'm with you too,
like,
buddy.
yeah. But it's like funny to hear like Shaggy kind of say this. And I know he's kind of just asking like out loud, but it's like, I'm like, one bad year, you guys still might make the playoffs all over. What are we talking about? You still got Patrick Mahomes, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy. No, they're gonna be fine. And I don't think anybody outside of the fan base who, and let's be honest, this is what happens in sports, right? You get kind of spoiled. So then when the bar is set that high and you don't reach it every year, it feels like doom is impending, but that certainly isn't the case until proven otherwise on a consistent basis. And look, we saw it in the Super Bowl last year with Kansas City, and they talked about it. I mean, to go and do the whole giddy up for the Super Bowl for 2 weeks, it's exhausting for these guys. And it's kind of funny that I do find myself bringing back to this, but I think it's good for non-professional athletes to see this, because as fans, we're like, yeah, how would you not be motivated trying to win a championship every single year? When we watch The Last Dance with Michael Jordan, I mean, there's a reason this psycho had to make up stories to find competition in every single game. Like, it's tough to get up and put 110% effort in every single spot. Now you may be going like, well, it shouldn't be hard to do that in the Super Bowl, but it's such a routine for that 2-week stretch that you kind of get mentally exhausted and you feel comfortable and you feel complacent in that you're cocky enough to where you don't maybe have to have as much prep or as much of a chip on your shoulder like the Eagles did, who lost to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl the year prior. So it's a bit more extra juice for them, to where the Chiefs go, we've won a few here, we're feeling okay, we know we're going to be able to figure out, like, this is maybe the kick in the ass along with losing last year in the Super Bowl that this team needed. Is it sustainable? No, but maybe having this tough season will gear them up going forward. And then when you dish off some of these older guys, you mentioned maybe, Kelsey retiring, you could kind of restructure and frame this team and open up some space in a different way that can lead them on a new path. So I think at the end of the day, they'll be okay. The more the worry would be is if the Chargers and Broncos are going to continue to be very solid or even better. That remains to be seen with how we feel about Bo Nix, but the defense is legit. Chargers always shoot themselves in the foot, and the Raiders, holy crap, who the hell knows what's going to happen with them? But I still think the Chiefs are certainly the top of the cream of the crop there in the NFL.
Isn't it funny that we're talking about this right now, and we could then look as February rolls around and they could be right back in the Super Bowl?
For sure.
Like, that's totally. I would not be shocked whatsoever.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. I'd be totally. That would, because this is the type of team, and this is what we talked about yesterday, and then we'll jump into today. This is the type of team that if they make it to the dance, this is not the team you want to see rolling into your arena to take them on because of the championship pedigree. They've been there, as Danny said. They don't need, maybe they need a little extra juice to get them going, but if they're dogs, that makes them even more dangerous in that situation too. So let's put a bow in this, because we could spend the rest of the show just chatting about the NFL. We'll do it tomorrow more on Gridiron Gang. Real quick though, kind of just off the top of the dome right now, who are your 2 Super Bowl picks? If you had to choose right this second, who would you say?
I'm not playing this game.
You're not doing it? You're not going to even like.
I can't not pick Kansas City. I cannot not pick
do it.
The Chiefs, and it literally is because we have 15 under center. That's it. As long as we got him, we're going to be fine. We got to win these 5 games though. From the NFC side, I like Seattle, to be honest with you. I've been high on Seattle all season long. I got them to win the West. So I think Sam Darnold might surprise some people, and kind of wide open the West per se. We'll see.
Okay.
I would like to say Sam Darnold in the Seahawks to be a little different from the obvious choice of the Rams, but until Sam Darnold can prove he can win a playoff game and look competent in that regard, then I'm kind of hesitant. And we have seen him kind of sputter out in some regular season games this year, which is a testament to the rest of his team. But you're going to need dominant quarterback play. And I know I can get that from Matt Stafford. Not sure I could get that from Darnold in the playoffs. So I'll go Rams. And then a team that I've still consistently been high on through the AFC, the Buffalo Bills, just to go outside of the Chiefs. Bills in a playoff position right now. Again, I think the thing that still holds them back is Sean McDermott. And certainly the run defense is abysmal. So that's not going to help them. But considering how open the AFC is potentially right now, you've been chiseled with the adversity of going through postseason after postseason if you're Buffalo. you're a little underrated, or rather overlooked, I'll say, because of the lapses you've had. So I think Buffalo is a team you can't count out. I'll go Buffalo and Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, Matt hates the Rams, but I know now it's because he is an Eagles fan, so he just cannot stand the Rams for that reason. Yeah, I honestly, and I think it's chalky, like you mentioned, Danny, but I have a tough time finding a team right now that's going to lose the AFC, or excuse me, in the NFC that's not the Los Angeles Rams. So unless they just completely, totally shit the bed, I think this team is primed to make a Super Bowl run. And I'll go chalky on the other side. I think the Pats have the juice too, boys. Mike Vrabel has been in these situations. He can win you one-score games just by the decision making. As long as Drake may continue to play in an elite level and this defense can get the job done, this is going to be a tough. And also going to Foxborough in January / early February, early February is no bueno with how cold it gets up there and that environment and stuff too. So find it tough to believe that if it runs through New England, it's going to be tough to get out of there. So a little chalky, but I think that both number one seeds could maybe get the job done as we sit right now. We'll see. We shall see. Colts, Eagles from Austin. That's interesting. I wonder. That sounds like an Eagles fan speaking. Chef likes the Colts too. Are you guys worried about Danny Dimes tomorrow? This broken leg thing is like sussing me out. If I was a Colts fan, I'd be losing sleep.
I'm just worried about the Colts in general, to be honest.
Right?
Tough schedule down the stretch. Like, they've played the easy part of their schedule. Sure, they excelled at it, but now it's crunch time. Now we see what they're made of.
Mm-hmm. And the injury doesn't help either. Danny, have you booked a ticket? Surely you have.
So I was going to say,
have it in your back pocket. You must.
How pissed do you think everybody would be outside of these fan bases if it ended up being like a Bears and Patriots Super Bowl?
Yeah.
With these two young quarterbacks out of nowhere. Like, that would be unbelievable.
I can almost guarantee that there will, unless it just ends up being Eagles Chiefs again, which would be crazy. But I think that we're going to see some quarterback that we haven't seen have a Super Bowl run this season is going to ascend to the mountain this year. Don't know which one it's going to be.
Josh Allen and Lamar, they've never been there.
True. They're also both on the outside looking in as we sit right now. So, and the Ravens look terrible, but anywho, all right. There's some fun stuff from yesterday on Black Friday. Danny got a chance to dance on all the graves and didn't take his tarp off though, so I'm a little disappointed. Boo!
Not yet. Man. I need to see a little bit more from him.
If they win the Super Bowl, next show tarp off. Okay?
Oh, no question. I was gonna say if they beat the Packers at Lambeau, we might be doing tarps off.
Oh, okay, all right, fair enough. You ain't even gotta get that far.
Or V's gonna have to do it out of a punishment or something like that.
One of the two.
You guys, we have to figure out some sort of punishment between the two of you going head to head, because that's gonna be some fun content going forward. But all right, we got a huge day of college football today. Let's turn the page and talk about rivalry week. A lot of these games kicking off here in the next couple of hours. Chad, drop your questions. Shags and the Glads covered a lot of this throughout the week on Old College Try and on Up Your Units. But let's talk about the big matchups today. We'll start with one of the biggies of all the biggies always. Ohio State, the number one team in the country, taking on the Michigan in the Big House. -10. I know you wrote about this game, Shags. I know which direction you're going with this, but just from an overview, what do you kind of think about this matchup today?
How much does Ohio State care about this game? They're number one in the country. They're very comfortably in the field of 12, but it's still a rivalry game that they've lost 4 straight years. Ryan Day has not been able to get the monkey off his back, has not been able to beat the Michigan Wolverines. We know Michigan's going to wake up for this game because even last year when they were completely out of the top 25, out of the college football playoff contention, they showed up and beat Ohio State in Columbus. Now, Ohio State obviously went on to win the national championship, but Michigan fans still have that over Ohio State's head is, hey, you guys won the championship. We still beat you on rivalry week in your home stadium. So now we're back in Ann Arbor, and this Michigan team is a lot better than they were last year. For starters there. Ohio State's still phenomenal, though. I am looking at the under in this game. Go figure, me backing another under in a rivalry game. Now, we've seen a lot of overs in this rivalry, specifically 8 straight. One matchup in the last 15 years has gone under this number that we see. It was last year, 13-10 Michigan victory. I like the Wolverines defense to carry them into this game, just kind of like they did last year. Michigan is top 15 in yards per play and points per play this season. They're also number 10 in yards allowed per carry. So Ohio State going to be needing to throw the ball with Mr. Sayin. They're also top 30 at getting to the quarterback and interceptions. Point being just the defense is good enough to compete with this Ohio State offense. It's going to be one of the better defenses Ohio State has seen all season long, except for against Texas in week 1. Other than that, this Michigan Wolverines defense, top notch. I think they're going to definitely wake up for this game, come to play, going to be very, very motivated. And on the Michigan offensive side of things, I don't know how much I trust Bryce Underwood, a true freshman, in this rivalry game to do anything, to be honest, against this Ohio State defense that is probably the best in the nation. So I like the under. 43.5 is what I took, but I actually have a 2-unit player prop, which is my favorite bet in this game. I got to make sure the line's still there, but I booked Jordan Marshall, Michigan's running back, under 99.5 rushing yards, mainly because this was 83.5 everywhere else. This one singular book offered 99.5 minus 115. I should probably check right now just to make sure I didn't, get a bad line or a straight line.
You get some CLV. If they give you more money than you put in, then you did something.
Or it was
right,
actually rushing and receiving, and he's like, "Why am I getting 15 yards more here?"
Dude, I didn't even know it was rushing. I'm checking the screenshot.
Got to double check now.
I screenshotted it right away because I knew I was probably going to get called out for a fake ticket. Nope, that's rushing yards. We're good. 99.5 rushing yards. Actually, let me check this book.
Yeah, I want to see if that's popped up right now.
There, it's the days of number of days in the yearbook. There we go. Got that one out. Okay. Jordan Marshall. That's not how you spell his name.
Shag is. You guys are watching Shags crash out right now over the fact that he did not get the correct line, and he's making sure.
No, I got the right line. I got a phenomenal line because on this book where I booked it, it's down to 86.5. All right.
Dang.
So your boy got a line discrepancy here, 2 units. I'll be honest, I would just go 1 unit on the 86.5, which does look like the best number. There's some 83.5s, 84.5s, whatever, but we're just going to 1 unit if it's under 90 for Mr. Jordan Marshall. Now, this guy has taken over as Michigan's starting running back when Justice Haynes went down. He's gone for triple digits in 4 straight games as a starter. However, he was held out of last game. So he's maybe a little banged up. Sure, he's going to be back on the field. One wrong hit might take him out of the game. I am not rooting for that, but that would make our under a lot less sweaty. Now, Marshall runs for 6.1 yards per carry, but again, he faces Ohio State. The Buckeyes rank number 3 in the nation in yards per carry and rushing yards allowed per game. They give up just 2.6 per touch and 78.6 to an entire team in an entire game. I don't think Marshall is touching 80. I don't think he's touching 70. I think he soars well under. The most they've given up to a single rusher in a game was 80 yards to Quintrevion Winsner of Texas in week 1. No one else has come close. I think Michigan's going to be behind in this game. I think that's going to lead to them throwing the ball more. I don't see Marshall getting the 18 to 20 carries he's probably going to need to clear this number. Again, a little beat up, so he might be splitting carries as well. The freshman, Bryson's last name starts with a K. I can't remember what it is, but he stepped up last week for Michigan. Could be more in the mix this week as well with Marshall being injured. So I just don't see Marshall getting the touches in this game against a very, very good rushing defense to get over the number. Give myself flowers a little bit. Second 2-unit player prop of the season. We hit the first one. We're now 8-2 on 2-unit college football player props, and we are now 8-0 betting on a college football player prop under. I rest my case. Jordan Marshall under his rushing yards tonight.
Today. You can also go check out. I was about to say in 2 hours. You can also go check out Shag's article for all of the player props that he likes today, as he just laid out how successful that he is at that. And if you like betting unders, yeah. Mm-hmm. Chad, if you
middle of the pack overall, but the unders they've been hitting, man.
Smacking. Chad, if you like unders, we haven't really been able to fulfill that appetite level for you guys over the last couple of years. Shags has kind of kept you afloat, but now that Danny's here, this Saturday, there's some unders on Beyond the Card for sure.
Yeah, we'll definitely have some unders and hoops. No question.
Oh, I bet. I bet. I hope we're not head to head on a couple. That would make me really sad. We'll have a couple unders probably in the parlay today too. So let's diversify the portfolio, Chad. All right, let's move on. You got any thoughts on this OSU game, Danny? I know you haven't been super duper tapped in with CFB with NFL kicking, but anything to say about this one before we move on?
I was going to say, the weather is obviously a huge factor in this spot and should be in terms of this handicap nearing 10, Big Ten football rivalry game. I don't think it's crazy at all to say this is the second most important game in Ryan Day's coaching career. And I know that Shag's kind of alluded to, does it matter for this game? I think it does. I mean, this is their championship damn near, right? I mean, like he was going to get canned if they didn't win the national championship because he's lost like you said, 4 consecutive in a row to Michigan. Yep. And they've proven that this isn't going to be a championship hangover after week 1 when they beat Texas. Now, Texas kind of fell off a little bit, but then they resurged. The point is, I think Ryan Day has his guys ready to go. The weather, yes, is going to be impactful, but I'm going to trust a better quarterback in Sane and Ohio State, a quarterback that hasn't needed to throw. Like, their offense has been built to play in these kind of crummy conditions. Their first and third and fourth down success rate, 5th in average third down distance. Michigan's 54th and 49th in those respective categories. Under the key number 10, I certainly lean toward Ohio State. You're probably going to get a better number in game, but I think Ryan Day is going to have his guys motivated. You don't want to put the knee down in any last game of the year going into a conference championship game. They're still vying for the number 1 seed because if you lose to Indiana and, all this and that, I think you got to keep your foot on the pedal, and especially in the most important rivalry in college football. I did make a friendly wager with a buddy's dad who's a Michigan fan, so I will be rooting for Ohio State. He gave me 9, so I'm laying 9 with Ohio State. Ooh, okay. We'll probably be waiting for a better in-game number with them because I do think Michigan will be able to kind of contain their running game to some degree here to where we'll probably get under 7. And that's where I'll look to attack Ohio State. But honestly, I don't love it enough because it is a lot of points in a rivalry game on the road, crappy weather. So I completely understand if anybody's taken double digits with the Wolverines.
That's what Colby and I talked about earlier this week. It was actually 10 and a hook earlier this week, and we were like, yeah, with that hook, probably got to take Wolverines.
No, it's a good number.
What is the friendly wager? Did you guys wager money or?
We just wagered money. So he's a big Michigan guy. So this is actually the guy whose wedding I was at. This is his dad. So that same weekend when the groom gave you guys the bet, that I was betting against him because I took Northwestern in that game, and that's when Northwestern almost beat Michigan. I was like, all right, I'll take the points with Northwestern just out of spite. And he was like, hey, as long as Michigan won, he was happy to pay the bet that Northwestern covered, but was glad that his Wolverines pulled it out. So he's a big fan. He'll be chirping me on Twitter. And we just threw like a friendly, like $50 on the spread. So
there you go. A little friendly back and forth from the wedding. Probably a few drinks deep too, which is always the best time.
No doubt.
All right, well, let's turn the page. That one kicks off here at noon. Another one this afternoon. I'm going to just go ahead and get this one out of the way. Vanderbilt taking on Tennessee in Rocky Top in Neyland Stadium later today at 2:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern. The Doors come in as 2.5-point dogs. Tennessee 2.5-point faves. Obviously, this is a massive rivalry game in Tennessee. I already booked the Doors, Shag, so you can break my heart if you want to, but I actually teased them up a little bit. I took them to +5, I think 4.5 last night, and I used a boost to get it down to like -110-ish just to make sure. But I'll probably be sprinkling on the money line for Vanderbilt. Diego Pavia, this is probably his last game of relevance in college football. So I think that he comes out and probably tries to silence the 100,000 that are going to be loud down there in Knoxville today. So chalky, I got the hat on my head, like following this team all season long. I think that he's going to have some stuff to say today, though. It's a huge total, 66.5. But you can talk about it further now since you've broken it down a lot more extensively than I have. What's your kind of reads with this game?
I'll be honest, there is no read. This game doesn't matter to anyone but these two teams. That's all this is a little in-state rivalry matchup. Vanderbilt not making college football playoff, especially with Texas's win last night. Now the Longhorns kind of jumped them. They're in the mix of being talked about as an at-large bid, even though I don't think the Longhorns deserve to be there. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Vandy and Tennessee. I think it might be Diego Pavia just ending his college football career, ending his tour, or ending his season on kind of a revenge tour per se. You know, 2 solid losses so far this season, to Alabama, to Texas, both of them on the road. Now you're on the road again, which, you know, does make it a little more difficult. You have certainly not been the team on the road that you have been in Nashville. But I don't know what Tennessee really wants to play for either. You know, it's really just pride at this point. Tennessee, I mean, both these teams have great losses. Like, all their losses are respectable in my eyes, and they've handled business elsewhere. So I wish this game meaned more to college football playoff implications and whatnot, but I could see Diego Pavia just willing his team to a victory here.
Here's the thing. If Diego Pavia is going to play like he has the past 3 games, then Vanderbilt is absolutely the right side. And you're seeing that reflected in the betting market, then moving across to key number 3, now just catching 2 in the hook. I would have liked to get Tennessee, or honestly, I just would have wished that Tennessee had a better defense, because offensively they were such a fun watch with Aguilar, and they just could never hold their own on that side of the ball. And it was kind of a squandered season because of that. But like, I guess I haven't bet it yet. But after hearing you guys talk about it and kind of exude some confidence, I may end up with Vandy here. Because when I think of Pavia, like, the 2 games I really watched him was that Mizzou game, and then obviously LSU, and then Texas. But I stopped watching once he started padding his stats toward the end. But I'm not going to lie, he did not look good. And that's when he started his Heisman campaign. And he just looked very, very average. Like, the running game was the main reason for why they were having success, and Diego wasn't doing too much. And again, now you look at the last 2 games, granted overtime, but still 377 yards against Auburn, completed 25 of 33, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Then against Kentucky, say what you will about Kentucky, but 33 of 39, 484 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. Now you're going up against a Tennessee defense, 94th in EPA per pass play. They're 101st in pass success rate allowed, and they're really bad again. They're worse against the run, actually. So as long as Vanderbilt doesn't turn the ball over and can at least get like a stop or 2 against Tennessee, Vanderbilt probably should win this game.
Thanks, boys.
Go Doors.
Thanks for making me feel that way. Yeah, go Doors. Anchor down. Really, thank you. Any thoughts? I kind of like the over too. I think this game could just turn into an absolute shootout.
Tennessee can't stop anybody. So yeah. I mean, you've got a high total for a reason. My worry would be Vandy likes to run the ball way too much and will keep the clock churning, won't move the ball in bunches as much as Tennessee will, but I think the total's up there for a reason.
Sure. All right. Maybe I can convince you guys to put Vandy in the points in the parlay. We'll get there, though. We might have to. Oh, Daniel likes it. We can go there then. See. The Iron Bowl. Taking on the Auburn Tigers, taking on Alabama. Huge game for Alabama, obviously. 5.5-point faves. It's kind of all I know about this, so I'll let you kind of take it away, Shags. What do you kind of think about this one?
Yeah, I wish I snagged Alabama when they were 3.5 earlier this week. It's now ticked up 2 points, as you can see. Still not a full touchdown, but I'm not necessarily rushing to back them at the 5.5 because Auburn's, frisky. They got nothing but pride to play for, really. But it is a rivalry game. They're going to wake up. They're going to try and spoil Bama's season. And Bama needs this game pretty badly. Like, yes, this win will put them in the SEC championship, but a loss could put them out of the playoff. I mean, I don't think that would be the case, but you're certainly in that discussion just where you're currently ranked right now. So Bama should be bringing everything to the table here. However, you've got an Auburn team that's fighting for bowl eligibility, fighting to be the spoiler, chance to take down the rival at home, and, kind of a crappy season otherwise. So I really don't want a part of this game, to be quite honest with you, at the 5.5. Leaning with the under, but I also don't necessarily trust Auburn's offense to contribute at all. So I don't know. I'm still going to have scribbles out for this game. Don't you worry, people. But we'll see what I come up with. Probably a prop.
I like Alabama in this spot. I would lay 5 in the hook with them. You make a great point, though, Shaggy. I mean, obviously, if you're able, I didn't even know it was as low as 3 in the hook, but getting under 4 is nice. But then after that, like, if it's 4.5, 5.5 is pretty irrelevant. But getting under for college football with the overtime rules, too. I mean, getting under 6, I still think is the viable play at 6. I really wouldn't touch it. Like you said, it's a tough spot. Auburn wants to play spoiler rivalry game. all of this. I guess I'm kind of looking at it from a perspective of just like on paper matchup. And it seems like if this game were placed in the middle of the season, we wouldn't have as many reservations about it as opposed to last game of the year and it being the rivalry game, right? Because what Alabama thrives in is their passing game. I mean, this much we all know with Ty Simpson, and defensively, Auburn's 110th in EPA per pass play allowed. They're 116th in defensive success rate against the pass. They do really well against the run, and conversely, Alabama has struggled with the running game offensively. But like you said, backs against the wall, playing for your lives. I think Alabama will come through. I tread lightly on these type of spots because, as they say, if it's a must-win game, you must not be very good. And that makes me have some pause with betting teams like that. But I just think Alabama played a really gruesome schedule, and they responded after losing the first game of the year against Florida State. Oklahoma's defense is terrific. That game, I guess, could have fallen either way. But this is a chance where you got to prove yourself. And I think Ty Simpson and the rest of the crew is good enough to do so. And Auburn will probably have some juice in the first half. Maybe look at Auburn first half if you like them. But I think eventually the talent and skill will outweigh what Auburn presents. And that's where you'll see the Crimson Tide be able to cover 5 in the hook.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like you guys mentioned, too, this is the game not only because of the rivalry aspect, but also due to the fact, especially with Texas winning yesterday, like you mentioned, Shags, like this is a big game now for Alabama for that reason as well, for the playoff standings. Like this is the stamp of okay, we're here versus, not at all. So let's finish it off here, boys, with the last one, and then we'll switch to hoops. Miami taking on Pittsburgh, 6.5-point favorites are the Canes here on the road. DB, I'll let you go first with this one since Shaq's kind of talked about it all week. You got any thoughts on this game?
I was almost about to dig into this one. Unfortunately, I actually didn't look too much in it. I do think we're going to see a pretty damn good performance from Carson Beck here. I think this is a spot where you can maybe look at some of his props. He's going to pad some of his stats. And look, Pitt's kind of been a team that I've avoided this year. Just like, they're very formidable, but I just haven't had that strong of a read on them one way or the other. Offensively, they've really struggled with third down, though. Third down success rate, this could be the big difference. 35.1%. They're 124th in the country. They're 125th in average third down distance. So on the other side, defensively, Miami's 8th and 7th in those regards. So I think that's going to be a big spot in this game here. I lean Miami. I don't know if I'm fully there to trust them because in spots, like I haven't watched them that much. I only have really caught the clips of them, but in a couple of games where I've sat down and watched, it's just they're making things very uncomfortable. I know it's a completely different team at this point of the season, but I think this is going to be a fun game. I think it is going to be back and forth for a while, but Miami will be able to pull through. I haven't looked at Beck's props, but some of the sites that I trust and looking at some stats, they're pretty high on him today. So I kind of like him, and maybe we'll dabble with some of those. I'll kind of pull them up while Shags, shares his thoughts on this game. But yeah, I guess I lean Miami.
Yep, I am right there with you. This is like the first round of sub-state in high school where you've got the undefeated number 1 overall seed that gets to just beat up on a number 8 seed that's happy to be there. That's Pitt. They're the number 8 seed. Miami's just so much more talented. I mean, not only do you have Pitt starting a true freshman quarterback who has done well, wasn't supposed to be the starter for this team, has stepped up through injuries and, has them one game away from the ACC championship if other things happen in their conference. But Miami's still Miami. They're pissed off. They got to keep wowing the committee. They get to look at themselves every single Tuesday on that big, nice 12-team bracket, even though they're not going to get there because they're not going to make it to the ACC championship. However, all you can do if you're Miami is wow the committee, give them a dominating, convincing win, and hope it's enough to get you in comparison with that 10-2 Notre Dame team who you actually beat in week 1. That's what the Hurricanes are looking for now. All they can do is, their destiny's out of their own hands. All you can do is run up the score against this Pitt team, leave no doubt, and hope it's enough for an at-large bid. I think Miami wins this game by double digits easy. I'm not a fan of Pitt. I definitely think it goes over because I'm really not a fan of Pitt's defense. And Danny, as you mentioned, I think Carson Beck props could be huge in this game.
So Shags, his passing touchdowns 1.5. You could get as low as minus $114, but he's circulating more around like minus 118, minus 120. I kind of like that look for him.
I know, Owen. I turned it off. I turned it off because Leeds scored 2 minutes into the second half.
Oh, did you get him to nil?
Yeah, I'm rooting for your spread, Dad. Don't worry.
Before we tap this college football conversation, there's a lot of other games today, obviously, but those were kind of all the big ones we wanted to talk about. Going into the cold, into the frigid cold, or the hurricanes? Oh no, going into the chilly cold Pittsburgh.
I mean, when they finally left Florida, they got beat by SMU at home, and like that's not even cold in Dallas. So yeah, they got to go a ways from Florida now. That's a good point, Jimmy.
Yeah. It's not Tua though. Let's not get that too crazy out of control here. All right, let's turn the page. Let's talk some hoops, and then we will. As I said, guys, we're doing a giveaway today on the channel. All you got to do is be watching us on Twitch, twitch.tv/betting news. If you're watching us on YouTube or on X, thanks for being here. I hope you guys are enjoying your best espresso to kick off your Saturday. But we're doing a giveaway at the end of the show, so stick around for a few more mins before we give you the plays on the hardwood. Shags, take it away. I know you've got a couple CBB plays, and then Danny and myself will jump into some professionals today. What are we looking at on the CBB board?
Yes, sir. A couple of college hoops plays. This one going off at 1 o'clock Central is the start time. And look at that. You can get a better number than I did. Absolutely love when that happens. Dartmouth and St. Peter's, the Peacocks, under 144, paid $1.115 for it. You can actually get 144.5 right now on Bet Online for -110. But we've got Dartmouth, who absolutely love to run. They are top 25 in pace this season, but they turn the ball over a ton, and they don't crash the offensive glass at all. Plus, Dartmouth chucks up a bunch of threes and doesn't make them. They're top 25 in three-point rate this season, but they dropped all the way down to number 163 in three-point percentage offense. St. Peter's is kind of the same way, at least shooting-wise. They're number 63 in three-point rate, so they love to chuck up a bunch of threes too, but they drop all the way to 210th in three-point percentage. So both these teams chucking up a bunch of threes. I don't know how many are actually going to go in the hoop. St. Peter's a team that plays very, very slow as well. They're at home, so I think they're going to control the pace of this game. Only have had 2 games go over 70 possessions. I think we keep this one closer to 67, 68 possessions. And, you know, they're built on defense too. St. Peter's is a team that loves defense. It's in their culture, and it hasn't been performing very well so far this season. I think we're going to see some progression from them defensively in this game, slowing down the Big Green, who are going to like to run. But Peacocks control the pace of the game. They're top 10 at forcing turnovers as well. Dartmouth struggles to take care of the ball, so St. Peter's could see a lot of steals turning into long possessions on the other side of the floor. Ultimately, though, I don't trust either offense to get us over this number, especially considering the low amount of trips up and down the floor we're going to have in this game. So Dartmouth and St. Peter's under 144. Get a better number than I did right now at Bet Online. And then late night out in Oregon, we're back in the Beavers. We're back in the Beavers. I got them on the money line at -108. They are up to -2, -128 on the money line. You know me. I would just say lay that juice on the money line. Don't even worry about the -2. But Oregon State going to come to play today. They've lost 4 straight. All of those games were on the road or neutral site. They're 3-0 at home, and they're back at home today where they host the Cal Baptist Lancers. Now, the Lancers, they're undefeated, but who have they played? Have they been tested? The answer is no. Cal Baptist, they're a very slow team that they rebound and defend very, very well, but they are allergic to any shot from beyond the arc. And I think their numbers are a little inflated due to their lack of competition. Cal Baptist 6-0, but their toughest opponent was outside of the top 100. They've only played 2 teams inside the top 200 in the nation. They've been beating up on essentially, you know, the bottom 150 teams. They've been beating up on nobodies. The Beavers, Oregon State, they have played 6 of 7 opponents within the top 180, within essentially the top half of the country. More battle-tested at home on a 4-game losing streak. Why are they favored? Because they're going to win this game. Give me Oregon State at home against a Cal Baptist team that's in for a rude awakening in my eyes. That's what we got.
Couple CBB plays. I'm feeling like late night beef's going to take us home. Just saying. I'm feeling like some late night beaver action might be taking us to the promised land. All right, let's turn the page and we'll talk about the professionals. Yesterday, Danny, did you watch some NBA last night, my man? I know you were at Oot and a Boot. I don't know if you got to see any of the NBA last night.
I did not, unfortunately. I know we had the Luka revenge game, though, right?
Luka revenge against the Mavs went crazy. 30. I mean, it's at this point, it's just normal for him to score 35 points. That's where his line's usually sitting at, which is nuts. But we had crazy triple doubles last night. Cade Cunningham went crazy. Jalen Johnson went crazy. Donovan Mitchell had a 40-piece last night. Just performances out the ass last night. SGA was spectacular against the Suns. It was incredible for the Cup last night. But we have big games today. Again, we're turning the page now. No Cup games today, so that kind of changes the math. We're seeing some smaller totals in comparison to what we saw yesterday due to the fact that these games weren't Cup games, or these games today aren't Cup games. I'll let you go first. I know you got some unders for the kids. I'm sure you've got a couple other props as well. But what do you like today? And then I'll jump into what I've got.
All right, I've got 3 unders for props, all PRAs here. I don't think we're going to be head-to-head because it's nobody you necessarily love. So it's no Jaime Jaquez or Denny Avia here. So
they don't play today, that's why.
Yeah, so I think we'll be okay. Miles Bridges under 33.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's averaging about 33 this entire year with those combined. He's going against this Raptors squad who are middle of the pack rebounding, but defensively speaking, they're coming off 2 days rest, so they'll have some strong legs to play defensively. They're 3rd in defensive points per 100 possessions allowed, 7th in defensive effective field goal percentage. Offensively for Bridges, a majority of his shots, 43%, are coming from beyond the perimeter. Toronto is 2nd in 3-point defensive effective field goal percentage allowed. They're also 8th in opponent assists allowed per game. So I think this is going to be a little bit lower of a spot here for Miles Bridges, selling on him at 33.5. Another guy representing my Bulls a little bit here, Pascal Siakam under 37.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Now, 38.5 was offered, but more commonly 37.5 was available. I still think you're safe there. I think at most he gets about 36. You get both teams coming off the second leg of a back-to-back, but you look at his shot selection, and it was funny. Like, the Bulls were outstanding defending the 3-ball last year, and at the beginning of this year hasn't been the same. But where they have improved is defending around mid-range. The Bulls allow the 3rd fewest shot attempts from mid-range territory, and they're 2nd in opponent field goal percentage from mid-range. That's where 51% of Pascal Siakam's shot attempts are coming from. So that should hinder his scoring department and keep him lower from the points, rebounds, and assists at 37.5. Certainly he can pad those numbers with his rebounds, assists. You're not too worried. But as long as they can keep him limited with his scoring, he should stay under this combined stat. And then a little bit of a random play here, but how about Terrence Mann under 18.5 points, rebounds, and assists, minus $1.14. He's averaging 8, 3, and 4, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. So he's at 15 on average. Now, it's a little bit spiked here because, again, Brooklyn doesn't really have anybody to contribute that often. But still, his usage rate's only 15.8%. That puts him in the 45th percentile for his position group. Points per shot attempt, his number is 114.2. That puts him in the 43rd percentile for his position group. Not good on either for anybody kind of unfamiliar with those numbers. Now, Milwaukee's defense has certainly regressed, but both of these teams also coming off no days of rest. We'll kind of see how that impacts his play overall. But even this season, he's averaging about 15 to 16 total points, rebounds, and assists. And this month, it's still around the same. So why are we getting the spike? Is it just because of the matchup? Perhaps, but I'm not willing to invest in it. I'm going to sell high on Mann under 18.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Go to muted.
Oh, I've never seen SPJ muted before.
First time. Whoa. It's because I took a bad sip of my coffee and I was coughing and I didn't want to mess up your cell job and I forgot to unmute myself. Yeah, I was dying for a second. It's nice that we're not on the opposite side of anything today, Danny. Because I was a little worried because I did take some PRAs that I like that are some over spots, and I was like, uh-oh.
You usually get the best of me, honestly, I think, when we're head-to-head in hoops so far. I think football, I've got you beat. NBA, you've got me beat.
Yeah, we should start doing some head-to-heads in the NBA. That could be fun. I just never like going head-to-head with my friends, though. It's never fun. I'm not that type of better. All right, I'll kick us off then. These are some overs, Chad, if you want to dabble in some overs today. We might have to sneak one of these unders in. I really like the Bridges one quite a bit. I think that's a good spot for his under, especially especially after what we saw from him yesterday. A lot of these teams are playing on back-to-backs, so you've got to deal with that aspect of things, which again, a lot of these totals are in the 225 range, which is kind of abnormal for the start of the NBA season. There are some overs that are in the 240s, though. We'll talk about the Bulls in game in a second, but I want to start us off with talking about what Cade did yesterday. Cade Cunningham was spectacular last night, triple-double. Didn't end up getting the job done and winning the game against the Magic, which was crazy, but he had 39 points, 13 rebounds, and 11 assists. Now, SPJ, why would you take a guy's PRA after a ginormous performance on the back-to-back? Well, I'm going to. Give me the 44.5 PRA for Cade Cunningham. This is also about the matchup, too. Against the Miami Heat, one of the fastest-paced teams in the NBA. It's slowed down a tiny bit since Tyler Hero has returned, but 2 games that he's played against the Miami Heat in back-to-back games. Last year, he had a game against them in March. He had 25, 12, and 11. The game before that, he had 20, 11, and 18 assists against this Miami Heat team. I done sprinkled the triple-double then for plus 1,000 as well.
Oh, I thought it was to score a touchdown. I was like, this guy's going to have a day.
Scoring a big old touchdown, my man. No, I got a fantastic number on the triple-double. Shop around as always. There are some like plus 500s, plus 450s out there as well. But I did sprinkle on the triple-double for Cade on back-to-back nights. Also, the way that he's been playing, I think that if he continues playing this way, he's going to continue to be in the MVP conversation. I don't know.
That was one of my picks. Yeah, I was going to say, is he a legit threat now? That's what I love to see. Him and Wemby were a couple of my plays.
Yeah, the Wemby health issue is going to be a problem, I think, for that ticket. But I like it, dude. I mean, they're the best. I think they're one of the best teams, if not the best team in the East. If he keeps pushing them across the line and having these 25, 30-point triple-double performances, it's SGA's to lose at this point. And I think Luka's right there in the mix as well, or Jokic. But, injuries happen. Guys can falter a little bit. The West is just slobber knockers just going head-to-head night after night. So the East is going to be fun. So, yeah, I don't hate that ticket, Danny, if you want to go. And he's been so good for this team this season.
I feel like the SGA aspect of it was very controversial last year because everybody hates his style of play, and voter fatigue, as we know, is a real thing. I don't think SGA is a really good angle to take, especially with the price given. Jokic is hard to argue every single season because statistically he's the best player. He was on the bad end of some voter fatigue, but I think now that you've had the pause from him getting that award from last year, he could certainly still be right up there, and it wouldn't shock me if he gets it, rightfully so. But yeah, the Pistons are a great story. It would make some sense.
I have a Luka ticket for 8-1 in my back pocket.
Yeah, Luka's a nice one too.
Yeah. If he keeps playing the way he's playing right now, I think that, because I agree with you on the SGA thing. I mean, Sook loves SGA, would douse maple syrup all over it and just run around with tickets about it. But I'm with you. I just don't love his playing style. He's a fantastic basketball player, deserved to win last year, but I don't think he's going to win this year. And like you said, the price is terrible. You're getting plus 150 right now.
It'd probably be good for the league to get Luka an MVP too. I think that narrative is going to be pushed to finally get him one.
Again, I got the 8-1 in my back pocket. We'll see how it plays out, and I just hope he keeps playing fantastically, which he did last night as well. I'll rattle these real fast. I took Jokic 22.5 RA against on a back-to-back in this situation. He burned me so bad yesterday, so I just want to have some stock in him today. So give me Jokic 22.5 rebounds and assists. The triple doubles -110. I don't like taking triple doubles for -110, but he's probably going to have a triple double. So if you want to bet that instead, go for that. Josh Giddey, same matchup. We're kind of talking about that high total today. The Giddler over 17.5 rebounds and assists -125. Also sprinkled the triple double as well if you'd like to get involved with that. Coming off a triple double last night there too. I think Kobe White also may not play after playing last night, still dealing with coming back from that injury. So that would help obviously Giddey's numbers. Regardless, I'd still like the 17.5 rebounds and assists. Now, guys, this is my last one, and this is my favorite. Going with the beard, James Harden over 40.5 PRA, and I sprinkled and dusted on the triple double. That's not a touchdown either, Danny. That's a triple double. 25-1 for the beard to get a triple double. Coming off a performance last night against the Memphis Grizzlies, 23 points, 11 assists, and 7 rebounds. But if you guys have been watching Harden all season long, this has been maybe his best start to his entire season in his entire career. He has been absolutely fantastic for the Clippers. However, the Clippers have been terrible. But this is about how he does against the Dallas Mavericks. Earlier this season, he had a 41 piece against this team, 41 points, 14 rebounds, and 11 assists. He also had 29, 7, and 14 in the last game against Dallas last year. It was Kawhi's night last night to score. He had a huge game last night scoring the basketball. I think the beard's going to come out tonight and cook, especially after you get that disappointing drop out of the cup. So really like Harden tonight. Let's go. 40.5 for Harden. I like the points too if you just want to take that, but I also really like the RA. His RA is sitting at 14.5. Cooked the Mavericks in those back-to-back games, like I mentioned, but the way he's been scoring this year, I didn't want to take out the points as well. So give me the PRA and dust on the triple-double.
Love it.
There we go. All right, lads, we've made it to the end. Huge day of sports in front of us. We're gonna have some fun. Eddie's gonna be writing about the NASCAR, the Formula One race, which is tomorrow as well. If you want to get involved with some Formula One, some racing, so be some fun stuff out there as well. But we've covered a lot in the last hour, which has been fun. Also, my mom sent me a screenshot of the dictionary.com definition of fraudulent because she thought that I was having to describe what fraudulent means versus us talking about the definition of fraudulent in this situation. So shout out my mom. Yeah, that's how it goes. All right, boys, let's cook, and then we'll do the giveaway and we'll get out of here. Let you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Let's start us off. Where do we want to go first? You guys want to ride with Andy? The Beavers?
Yeah, we can do Vandy. We can do Vandy too.
But like super late night, right, Shags?
The Oregon State? Yes.
Yeah.
It's like the latest hoops game tonight. 9 o'clock Central.
They're against Cal Baptist.
Yes, sir.
Minus 120 money line. Good for that.
Yeah. Just take the money line. Mm-hmm.
That works.
Okay.
It. Football. You guys down to ride with the Doors and the points?
I'm in.
You can ride with the Doors.
+3.
Yeah.
Ooh, love that.
I'm going to cut out the hook and take the +3.
Might as well. Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to take the +3.5. Even better.
Even better. Mm-hmm.
Minus 138. Okay. One more CFB. Do you have a fave, Shags? That's not like in the Ohio State Michigan game because that game starts here in like 20 minutes.
Dude, unfortunately, no, not really. It's
okay.
Rivalry week's tough, man. It's almost like, I don't want to say it's almost like preseason, but it's there's question marks of motivation on both sides, and who knows what teams are going to prepare for. And because yes, Ohio State, like take that game for example. Yes, Ohio State cares; it's a rivalry game, but they care more about the Big Ten championship and winning 4 games in the college football playoff than winning this game. If they had to choose, they'd win the national championship and lose this game. So I just worry about it. But no, I really don't have anything else, to be honest.
That's fine. We can just avoid the rest of these games and go back and switch, take a couple NBA stuff. Cool. Danny, what's your favorite under?
You made it seem like you like the Miles Bridges one. I think that one's a pretty solid spot. We could roll with that.
I also like the Siakam one. I like them all, to be honest. The man one also kind of I don't know. Did you like any of those, Shags? You're an under guy. And you also like fading the NBA. So
I was going to say, I like betting Miles Bridges unders. That sounds good to me.
We could do that. I like your Harden one, too, to include alongside it.
I was just going to say, I like the beard. Mm-hmm.
Take us home, tuck us in. All right, so we'll go. Where is Mr. Bridges? Also against the Raptors have been surprising this season too, man.
Yeah.
Holy. All right, Bridges under 33.5, right? For his PRA? Okay,
Lovely.
Cool. And then for Harden, for James, where art thou, James? There we go. PRA. Couple more. Bing bong. 41.5. Cool. That is plus 1,063. That'll do. Oregon State, money line, take us home, tuck us in. Beaver, late night. Vanderbilt, plus 3.5 on the spread. Miles Bridges, under 33.5 PRA in the NBA. And then James Harden, over 41.5 PRA. It's actually 41, but that's okay. I like it there too. Boom, boys. Let's go. Shall we do a giveaway? Shags, can you help me with the duckies?
Yes, sir. Pulling them up right now.
All right, let me get this rocked and roll here. Chad, if you want to tell the Best Espresso 4, it will be on the timeline on Twitter. This is your last chance. Drop a dub in the Twitch chat. We'll be doing a giveaway of a swag pack. And also, if we smack our parlay today for the next couple of days, we still are adding a few more bucks to the Season of Giving pot. We're like at $80. So that's pretty good for the Season of Giving for Feeding America. So that'll work. Let's add some more today. Bing, bong, bang.
Mm-hmm. Here we go.
He's thinking about it. It's working.
Yeah. This is barely.
Oh, it's taken.
My computer's like, no. Oh yeah, it's bad. It's bad news, Bears.
I don't know if we're gonna make it. I might have to try to do it. Oh, we got there.
Is it? All right.
Yeah, we got there. It's there.
Here we go.
Wow, lots of duckies. Let's go.
Set
Right,
it.
Shags. Bing
Getting
bong.
it over with. And for the record, I do have 3 family members in here.
Oh, blame the family.
Never beaten the allegation.
We're gonna get there. Oh, the ducks are frozen, unfortunately.
Never
there we
beaten
go.
the allegation.
Owen. Owen's climbing through the middle.
Who's gonna be?
This is a very anticlimactic race because we can't see what's happening.
We're just gonna need the play-by-play.
Yeah, we'll just hear the play-by-play. Kev? Oh, someone's flying up the middle. Someone's flying up the middle. I want to say it's Margiela mixing. Yeah. Mixing Margiela, let's go. All right, close the tab, Shags. Burn your computer. Get out of here. Go away. Close it and get rid of it forever and ever.
It's done. I'm going.
Yeah, mixing Margiela. There we go. Oh, he's back. Look at him. Look at he's welcome back.
You guys were waiting for the end of that race for like 15 extra seconds.
I believe it.
Oh, yeah.
I already knew who the winner was.
Damn, let's go.
Oh, I gotta love it. Fun stuff.
Mixing Margiela, send us a message on Twitter. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate all you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us to kick off your Saturday, to send it off into the sun for Betspresso, and enjoy the rest of the day, boys. Go follow Shags. Go follow Danny Burke. Follow myself, Sweatpan Jesus. We will be live with you guys tomorrow in the morning for Gridiron Game to get you ready for NFL, the rest of NFL Week 13. So we'll be live with you guys at 10:30 Eastern. Lads, have a great rest of your Saturday. You got anything else for the kids before we get out of here?
Nope.
Enjoy the day. Best of luck, everyone.
Absolutely. You guys came for the winners and you stayed for the vibes. Have a fantastic Saturday. Enjoy the games. Bet responsibly as always. And we'll see you on the next one. Take it easy, chat. Peace.
What you know about rolling down in the down in the
Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here.
about rolling.
What you gonna do?
Rolling.
What you gonna do now?
Down in the rolling.
What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving this shit.
What you know about